Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Okay. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? Yeah,
Hello? Yes.
Yes.
good. I'm putting the chat on so I can actually. Oh, gosh. I had a lovely weekend in the mountains. It was really,
Skiing?
really nice. And it was snowing as well. So perfect, perfect. So charged up the batteries and I'm back again. So I hope you're all doing fine. And this evening, well, you have received the material. I'm just waiting for more people to connect to see, because it's 9 o'clock now. And one thing I wanted to ask you was about the assessment test. What do you think about the assessment test? Was it very, very difficult? It was difficult, I know. I did it on purpose.
Mhm.
Kind of, was it doable?
What
Yeah,
I
it was.
found difficult, what I found difficult was the choice of the same word for three sentences.
Oh, that one, it's difficult,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's very good for your vocabulary because you realize that, you know, you can use that particular word in a certain context. Um, I did it, but you haven't checked the answers yet. Oh, Federica, go through it. It's I sent the key and everything to you. Yeah, that one is a particularly difficult one. The grammar was all right, I think. The reading comprehension, it all comes from an oldish book, because oldish books are more difficult than the new ones. And that particular exercise, when you have to choose one word which goes with three sentences, um, it's difficult, and it used to be part of the advanced, the C1 test, I think 15 years ago. Then they decided to scrap it, to change it, and they got something else now. Because I think it was rather difficult even for students, but it's very good. Instead, I hope you enjoyed our heroes and villains. Do you prefer the heroes and villains or the news? I find the heroes and villains is a bit lighter. The good thing I've noticed about the heroes and villains is the language. Have you noticed that the language, you might find the choice of vocabulary more difficult than the choice of vocabulary you find in the news, because it's colloquial. For example, in today's, you'll come across, yes, the news is easier. Again, they always talk about the same stuff, which is depressing, but that we know. But the vocabulary is quite repetitive. While here it's very colloquial. They joke, they try to be sarcastic. And of course, when you use the language the way it should be used, the way I try to use with my students, I always try to speak normally. You come across words like, this evening we will see the word wimp. You know what a wimp is? A wimp is someone who's, well, lacking in self-confidence, definitely. And, it's always, oh, it's too far, or it's too cold, or it's too dangerous, oh, I'm not doing it. I think in Italian you would sort of, if you want to be kind, more than capricious, I would say, I looked it up, the Italians say something like papamolla, Ramollito, very good, Dario. Yeah, one of those, and of course, also nip down. Nip has got a nip, uh, an insect can nip you.
Pizzicotto.
It's like a little bite. Okay.
Niente bite.
And if I say, for example, let's say in October, you walk out and you say, there's a nip in the air. Or it's a bit nippy today. It's cold. A nip in the air is when you can actually feel a change in the temperature and is sort of coldy-ish, okay? But if you nip upstairs for a cup of tea, or you nip downstairs when you nip next door, for example, I can nip next door to see my neighbor. I stay 5 minutes and I come back. So it's a quick going out and coming back. I'll nip downstairs to the supermarket. It's very colloquial, very normal. And another thing I noticed, I'm sponsoring my choice, is, please, what is the translation? When the tablet is the title of the song. Well, it depends on the song, because if you wind something up, for example, I'm quite relaxed, okay, and you start talking about things which irritate me, and so you kind of winding me up. I don't know whether it fits your song. It might. In a relationship, if you wind me up, you can make me sort of agitated and angry. And then I should see if you write, Federica, write to me and give me the title of the song so I can listen to the song and I can tell you the meaning. Because again, as you you notice with those, you have 3 sentences, 1 word, and the word goes with the 3 sentences and changes its meaning depending on the sentence. So like that is, but wind up, it's in Italian we say montare qualcuno, farlo irritare. In one of the, then you wind up the window. You remember the old cars when you had the handle and you had to wind it up and wind down the window, and etc. etc. Another thing, this sort of new news is talks about things like Waitrose. If you listen, you talk to someone from London, for example, or who lives in England, and he says to you, well, I don't really like Tesco, I prefer Waitrose. You don't know what they're talking about.
Supermarket.
Waitrose is a very nice chichi supermarket. It's more expensive than Sainsbury, Tesco's, and etc. Lidl, and it's more like, I don't know, a nice, expensive supermarket you find maybe in Turin. I have no idea what, not as expensive as Italy, but I quite like. Waitrose is good, very good. And you find pasta barilla, pasta de cecco. If you go to Waitrose, you find the cecco. If you go to another place, you can't find the cecco, you find something else. So even the choice of foreign products is different. Okay. Right. So this evening, what we could do, we could, if you want, would you like to do a little bit of the language article? Maybe we could do the beginning and then do a little bit of the heroes and then maybe translate 1 sentence. So we chuck in a bit of everything, if it's all right with you. Okay, good. Okay, are there any new students? Because if there are, I'll I can give you my email address. Yeah, you. Hello, new student. I give you my email address. If you want to carry on with my lessons, just write to me and I'll send you the material, the stuff we're doing, the notes, and etc. There it is. Okay, hi Emilia. Okay, so now we can start. I'm going to open my stuff. Okay, and two, and share. Okay, so close this one and okay. Right, can you see it properly? Good. So the thing is, first, the number 7 is how Shakespeare changed the way we speak English. So we go back a little bit here. So what we have to do is we listen to the recording, and the first time you listen, just underline, or for the ones who haven't got the document, you can have a look at my screen. Underline any discrepancies you notice in the script below. And then there might be omissions, there might be words and numbers, homophones, and etc. Then I'll play it again and we can give the correct version. So this is okay. Okay, first time, just listen. I'm just turning it up. Just tell me if you can hear it properly. Oops.
William Shakespeare used more than 20,000 words in his plays and poems,
Okay.
and his works provide the first recorded use of over 1,700 words in the English language.
Okay, can you hear it properly now? Good. I'm going back.
William Shakespeare used more than 20,000 words in his plays and poems, and his works provide the first recorded use of over 1,700 words in the English language. It's believed that he may have invented or introduced many of these words himself, often by combining words, changing nouns into verbs, adding prefixes or suffixes, and so on. Some words stuck around and some didn't. Some examples: assassination, bedazzled, cold-blooded, dwindle, fashionable, rant, gossip, and lonely. In addition to new words, Shakespeare also gave birth to numerous idiomatic expressions that are still used regularly. His plays are rich with phrases that convey complex emotions and ideas in a concise way, and many of these expressions have become ingrained in the English language. A foregone conclusion, meaning an inevitable outcome from Othello. All that glitters is not gold. Something that appears valuable may not actually be so, from The Merchant of Venice. A blinking idiot, meaning a fool, again, The Merchant of Venice. I have not slept one wink, I did not sleep at all. Cymbeline. In a pickle, meaning be in a difficult or troublesome situation, from The Tempest. Brave New World, used ironically to refer to a new hopeful period, from The Tempest. To be or not to be, that is the question. The most famous soliloquy in the works of Shakespeare, quite possibly the most famous soliloquy in literature. Flexible word order. Shakespeare's works demonstrate a flexible approach to word order, which was common in early modern English, but has since evolved. He often rearranged the conventional subject-verb-object structure to achieve dramatic or poetic effects. This flexibility allowed Shakespeare to experiment with language and create rhythm, rhyme, and emphasis. Expanding the use of metaphor. Shakespeare's extensive use of metaphor was revolutionary. For instance, in Julius Caesar, 1599, Shakespeare famously wrote, "The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves." This metaphorical use of stars became a common expression to refer to fate and destiny.
Okay. So all this, the man did a lot to the language. And so all that glitter. Yes, there is something missing because, as I told you, what we are doing now, you see, we go back, listen again, correct any variation you find in the text, homophones, numbers, words, omissions, and etc. That is an omission. It's an omission, okay? So I'm going back down so we can do it. Right. Okay. So I'm playing it again. So you tell me there are numbers which are wrong and etc. Some of these idiomatic expressions, some expressions have been translated into Italian and they're commonly used in Italian. For example, the one, this one, this brave new word, and this the other one, all that glitters. I'm not telling you how it carries on. They're sort of course, they've been translated. They're coming to the language, like everything else. I've noticed that nowadays there are so many English words coming into Italian. But, you know, I was talking about it with my husband the other evening. This is what happened. You know, the Italian is getting more and more, it's getting richer with English words. For a purist, I'm not a purist, thank God for that, but for a purist, it's a crime. But if you think about it, the language is moving on, is what English did. If you look at the English language and you see what happened to the English language, all these new words coming and being absorbed, and now they're there. And so I'm trying to get used to spoilerare, which now people use every day, cliccare, spoilerare, using instead of ti telefono, ti faccio una call, and etc. Chattare. Part of it is due to laziness, and beggiare, I've no idea. Beggiare.
Usare il
Badge.
Esatto.
Badge.
Badge.
Yeah. Yes, that's a badge. That thing, I got it. Right, now I'm going to play it again so you can, and stop, so you can give me the correct answers. Okay, no, this one goes back here and this one goes here.
Seven. How Shakespeare changed
I'm turning it up.
the way we speak English. William Shakespeare
More
used
volume, please.
20,000 words.
Okay. Right.
Shakespeare used more than 20,000 words in his plays and poems.
Okay, it's not 2,000, but 20,000.
Than 20,000 words in his plays and poems, and his works provide the first recorded use of over 1,700 words in the English language.
Very. Nicoletta was a bit too much, 170,000. Instead, it's 1,700. This one goes here, and this one goes here. 1,700. I always say this, but remember that numbers in a foreign language are difficult. If you try to do sums, multiplications, and etc., and you can manage to do them in a foreign language, means that you are extremely, extremely fluent. Your brain manages the language really, really well. Because I think numbers is still kind of the last thing which comes in a foreign language. Okay, and so 1,700.
1,700 words in the English language. It's believed that he may have invented or introduced many.
That's very good. It is believed that he may, wait, I'll do it in capitals so you see, may have invented, very good, because it's not sure, it is believed, so you need, it may or he may not have invented.
Or introduced many of these words himself.
Okay. Produced or, very good, is introduced.
Or introduced many of these words himself, often by combining words, changing nouns into verbs.
Very good. By combining words.
Nouns into verbs, adding prefixes or suffixes and so on. Some words stuck around and some didn't.
Very good. Into, so changing nouns. Into, you really need this into, because remember that you translate something into something else and you change something into something else. There is movement. And is there anything here? Very good. Stuck around. If you stick around, means you stay closer, nearby. Okay, if you stick around, and so some words lived on, stayed on, and others just disappeared.
Some words stuck around and some didn't. Some examples: assassination, bedazzled, cold-blooded, dwindle, fashionable, rant, gossip and lonely.
Very good. Yes. It's not loony, but it's lonely. Okay. Then we will see the meaning of this word, and I suppose this one in the questions. Okay. Well, this one you might guess. Bedazzled. Have you ever heard, when you're surprised, amazed, something really beautiful? Okay, bedazzled. And then we'll see the other, and the ranting and etc. Okay, and what's loony? What's a loony? Yeah, abbagliato, very good. What's a loony? Yes, it is crazy. A loony, mad, crazy, a lunatic. Yeah, lunatic is someone crazy. A loony means mad, completely mad. Nothing to do with lunatico, okay? Because how do you say lunatico in English? When you, no, moody, very good. Moody, you change your mood every 5 minutes, and so is lunatico. Lunatic means mad. And the second bit,
Rant, gossip and lonely. In addition to new words, Shakespeare also gave birth.
very good. This one we can go like this.
Shakespeare also gave birth to numerous idiomatic expressions.
Oh, very good. Birth like this. What's the difference in pronunciation between these two words? Birth, being born, and birth. There is no difference. The pronunciation is exactly the same. You know what a birth like this is? It's a bed, a sort of bunk bed on a boat or on a train. Una cuccetta. Yeah, very good. Una cuccetta. Or in a sort of in a harbor or in a port, a space for a ship to moor. Un attracco. That's a berth. Okay, so it can be a bunk bed on a train or on a ship, or where la darsena. Very good. Thank you. But birth and birth are homophones. So there is no difference in pronunciation. Okay.
Idiomatic expressions that are still used regularly. His plays
Very good. Okay, so they are still used regularly.
That are still used regularly. His plays are rich with phrases that convey complex emotions and ideas in a concise way. And then
So, very good. In a concise way.
and ideas in a concise way. And many of these expressions have become ingrained in the English language. A foregone conclusion, meaning an inevitable outcome from Othello. All that glitters is not gold.
Yes, all that glitter is not gold. Non è tutt'oro quel che luccica. Translated directly.
All that glitters is not gold. Something that appears valuable may not actually be so, from The Merchant of Venice. A blinking idiot, meaning a fool. Again, The Merchant.
Do you know what blink? Blink? What do you do when you blink with your eyes? When you close your eyes and then you open, close and open, sbattere, blink. Maybe because it's too sunny or it's too bright or something, you can't blink. Okay, and you can also wink. So you can wink, usually with one eye, and you can blink with two. Okay, wink is very often is one eye, just you attract attention, you just open and close one eye and blink two. Okay, a blinking idiot, that's Shakespeare started, and people still use it now, meaning a real idiot. Okay.
Blinking idiot, meaning a fool. Again, The Merchant of Venice. I have not slept one wink. I did not.
Very good. Yes. So blink is wrong and is wink. There is another expression with wink. If you have having 40 wings later, for example. Do you know what I'm doing if I'm having 40 wings? Yes, I have a short nap, a snooze. Equal a nap, snooze. Yeah, it's the same. It's an expression, 40 winks. So you have 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Okay. It's not doing anything.
I have not slept one wink. I did not sleep at all. Cymbeline. In a pickle, meaning be in a difficult or troublesome situation, from The Tempest. Brave New World, used ironically to refer to a new hopeful period, from The Tempest. To be or not to be, that is the question. The most famous soliloquy in the works of Shakespeare, quite possibly the most famous soliloquy in literature.
Very good. Yes, in literature.
The most famous soliloquy in literature. Flexible word order. Shakespeare's works demonstrate a flexible approach to word order, which was common in early modern English, but has since evolved.
Very good.
Flexible approach to word order, which was common in early modern English, but has since evolved. He often rearranged the conventional subject-verb-object structure to achieve dramatic.
Okay, so is rearrange the conventional subject is subject verb object. Remember, my old students know it. Remember that in English, the moment English used to be like Italian, inflected. So with declinations and everything extremely complicated, then slowly, the language became uninflected. And if you become uninflected, you need to be a bit more respectful when it comes to the word order. For example, in Italian, even if you don't really follow word order strictly, nothing happens because you know exactly, the verb goes with, because the verb changes. In English, if I say walked, I need to know and mention a subject. Otherwise, you really don't know what happens. And so you do need a very sort of to be a bit more strict when it comes to the order of a sentence. Okay, and so the complete order of the sentence is this one. Is subject, verb, object, manner, place, and time. So I liked what my lesson. How very much. Where in Turin the other day. Okay, this is very natural. You moving this very much here. I like very much my lesson. Sounds unnatural. Okay, it's much better if you put it here because I liked what my lesson. Remember that the verb and its object, they really love each other. Do not don't separate if you can. Then you put where, the place, and then again the time is a bit more flexible when it's very, very long. You can even put it at the beginning. It was a really nice day and I decided blah, blah, blah to go and do something. Then it can shift. But if you are in doubt, follow this and your sentence is always nice and correct. Wait, okay. And I'll go back. Okay. So I'm going back to this. So remember, subject, verb, object is very important.
And rearrange the conventional subject, verb, object structure to achieve dramatic or poetic effects. This flexibility allowed Shakespeare to experiment with language and create rhythm, rhyme, and emphasis.
Very good. And create rhythm, rhyme, and emphasis.
Shakespeare to experiment with language and create rhythm, rhyme, and emphasis. Expanding the use of metaphor. Shakespeare's extensive use of metaphor was revolutionary. For instance, in Julius Caesar, 1599.
Very good. Well, there is no real difference between scissors and scissor. The only difference is this one is the S at the end. Okay, the pronunciation is the same. Julius Caesar's and Caesar's and Caesar. They're almost homophones.
In Julius Caesar, 1599, Shakespeare famously wrote, "The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves."
Very good. Is not in our stars, but in ourselves.
Famously wrote, "The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves." This metaphorical use of stars became a common expression to refer to fate and destiny.
Very good. Fate and destiny. Well done. Very nice. So what we could do now is answer the questions. Otherwise, we will forget. If we wait until next week, we'll forget what we're talking about, and then do something else. So I'm going down to the questions. The question is 10 questions. So the first one, Shakespeare used about 20,000 different words in his plays and poems. Is it true or false? Okay. Yes, very good. It is true. And number 2, William Shakespeare is credited with coining over 2,700 words. Do you remember? It is false because it was 1,700. And then, do you remember before I told you we will find these words in the questions? So if you have dwindle and do you know the meaning of this word, dwindle? Does it give you? Dwindle. Get money dishonestly from someone by deceiving or cheating. Is it true or false? Okay. Remember that dwindle means gradually diminish, go down in size, amount, strength. For example, the traffic has dwindled, means decreased. There are fewer cars, for example, which is not true. So it is false because get money dishonestly from someone by deceiving or cheating looks like it is swindle. Okay. So swindle means to get money dishonestly for someone by deceiving or cheating, while dwindle is diminish gradually in amount, so fewer things or strengths and etc. go down basically. And then you got this one, bedazzle. Impress somebody very much with intelligence, beauty. Yeah, this is correct. True or false? Every word Shakespeare invented is still in common use today. Every single word. Very good. No. Because he said some word stuck around, others didn't. Rant. Again, rant is correct. To speak, write, shout in a loud, uncontrolled, angry way, often saying confused or silly things. Is it true or false? Yeah. If you're ranting on, you keep on talking, usually in a very loud voice, and you can rant on about something. Very often you angry or very, very agitated, so you get confused, and that's a rant. You can talk about a rant can be a verb, but also a noun. If it's a noun, is a sort of speech, but very agitated, very angry, very long, on and on and on. It's one of those never-ending stories. Okay. To be or not to be is an example of Shakespearean idiom still used in everyday English. Careful, there's a trick here. Is it an idiom? Is a soliloquy? It's not an idiom. Okay, so technically it's still used in everyday English. You can quote it, but it's not an idiomatic expression, and therefore is false. And number 8, Shakespeare used unusual word order mostly by accident rather than for dramatic or poetic effect. Is it true or false? You got good memory, very good. Yes, it is false. He used it deliberately for effect, trying to attract the attention. And we got our friend Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar, Shakespeare uses the metaphor of stars to refer to celestial bodies. Is it true or false? Very good. Do you remember it used to refer to? Can you remember it referred to what? It was the very end. Fate and destiny. Very good. Fate, not faith. Faith is fede. Fate è il fatto. Fatto destino. Okay. Exactly. Very good. And the last one, number 10. Shakespeare's influence on English was limited to vocabulary and did not affect style or expression. Is it true or false? False. Our friend Shakespeare, he did something to the language. Definitely the language started being different. Some question I want you: dwindle, we've seen it. Rant, we've seen it. Loony, we've seen it. Oh yes, one thing we saw before we stop this, the word alone. Okay. What's the difference between alone or lonely? Are they the same or are they different? Is there a difference between these two? Okay. Yeah, they are different. Remember that if you are alone, there is no one around, okay? But you might be happy, okay? I was all alone the other day and I managed to do whatever I wanted. So you see, it's can be happy, can be okay. Lonely, you're missing company. If you're lonely, you're missing company. You want someone around you, okay? Then what else? Okay, we've seen the blinking. And we've seen wink. And blink, okay. And, oh yes, pickle. Do you know what pickle is? Well, a temporary situation could be, or maybe your state of feeling lonely all the time. Maybe you're feeling lonely and you're surrounded by people. Yes, it is something you eat, pickle. Pickle is those vegetables, sottaceti. Yeah. Do you know gherkin? Yeah, gherkin is a little cucumber. And have you ever been to London? Have you seen the gherkin in London? You know that there are the building, skyscrapers. The one which looks like a suppository is called the gherkin because it looks like un cetriolo. And exactly. And so the nickname for the building in London, which is beautiful and looks like a cetriolo, is gherkin. And that's it. Scissors and scissor. They are semi-homophones. They sound very, very similar. And that's it. Oh, yes. Okay, pickle. And so what we could do, if it's all right with you, we could leave. Speaking Shazza suggesting the name is son. Yeah, I read about it. I haven't seen the film. Remember that you recommend this film, and then when you suggest to me, okay? Not suggest you, never. You suggest to someone, okay? Suggest is one of those funny things. Was it good? Well, if it's good, I'll of course watch it in English. And thank you very much. I'll have a look. So what we could do, leave this for next lesson so we can go through the idiomatic expressions. I'll send you this first bit in with the notes and etc. And now we can do maybe a little bit of the villains for this week. Okay, so I close this one. Move you out for a second. And I go and get the villains. Okay. And one. And
This week's heroes and villains.
wait. Right. And I put you back where you were before. Right. Okay. I hope you can see it properly. This for the students, for the new students. So you see, this week we had Tom Cruise, an Australian teenager, and an 82-year-old retired mechanic from Toledo and the bus company. We might be able to do number one and maybe a little bit of number two, and you can do the rest as, let's call it, homework, if you feel like it. But remember that it's very good for you, because once a week, just with me, listening to me basically, is not enough. But for example, we do number one, and tomorrow evening you spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes to listen, and then listen again and do the exercise, have a look at the words, answer the questions, remember, and then you skip one day, and maybe on Saturday you spend another 10 minutes. Remember that if you manage to do it 2 or 3 times a week, it does help you. Your English will definitely, your English is already extremely good. You are nearing C1 or C1 or even better. Your English will improve, at least in vocabulary. Okay, so let's see the first one. What happens? The first one says, listen to the recording, fill in the gaps and answer the questions. Okay, pay attention to, as we saw before, the nipping down and etc., to the vocabulary. Here is our friend Waitrose. Now you know where Tom Cruise was supposed to go. And first listen, and then we fill in the blanks.
Week's heroes and villains include Tom Cruise, an Australian teenager, an 82-year-old retired mechanic from Toledo, and a bus company. The first villain is Tom Cruise, who has reportedly moved out of his £35 million Knightsbridge flat amid concerns about crime. Yes, says the Times. The same Tom Cruise who famously does all his own stunts in the Mission Impossible movies, from climbing the Burj Khalifa in Dubai to riding a motorbike off a cliff. Who would have thought that what finally caused this fearless action hero to wimp out was being told, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to nip down the Brompton Road Waitrose for a pot of hummus.
Okay, remember that, I don't know whether you've seen Mission Impossible films, but in some of these films, when is offered the mission, the exact words are, your mission, should you choose to blah, 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 and then carries on with something else. But this is what they say in the films, okay? I'm going to repeat it.
Teenager, an 82-year-old retired mechanic from Toledo, and a bus company. The first villain is Tom Cruise, who has reportedly moved out of his £35 million Knightsbridge flat.
Okay. It's increased in value. Yes. So reportedly, definitely 90 million pound now. And Nicoletta, that's a bit too much even for Tom Cruise. So moved out, okay, of his pounds, I think is this one, yes, 35 million. Is 35 million flat. Still very expensive. Okay, his because it's referred to Tom, and so his. And you move in when you start occupying a flat, and then you move out when you leave it, okay?
Tom Cruise, who has reportedly moved out of his £35 million Knightsbridge flat amid concerns about crime.
Very good. About crime.
Flat amid concerns about crime. Yes, says the Times. The same Tom Cruise who famously does all his own stunts in the Mission.
Very good. Does all his own stunts. Then we see all the words.
His own stunts in the Mission Impossible movies, from climbing the Burj Khalifa in Dubai.
Yes, from climbing
the Burj Khalifa in Dubai to riding a motorbike off a cliff. Who would have thought that what finally caused
very good, Nicoletta. Why a fort? Fort. Fort and thought. Okay. A fort and thought. Thought. A fort. Okay, they're different. Listen.
for cliff? Who would have thought that what?
So, who would have thought? Oops. I think, well, I think I've done something. Yep. Thought. Okay, who would have thought?
Who would have thought that what finally caused this fearless action hero to wimp out was being told, your mission?
Very good. Was okay. Been, which is homophone of been, Okay. And being. So being, I've been to the supermarket. Okay. I've been to New York. But I'm being very silly this evening. Being. Human being. Okay. So was, who would have thought, being told. Was the fact of being told, but you can drop the fact of being told. Why being told? Because you couldn't use say in this because they're referring directly to Tom Cruise. I was told, for example, we can next time, if you want, we can revise this. Okay. I told Maria to go and buy some milk. Okay. You see, I told Maria to go and buy some milk. So let's do the passive. Maria was told to. What happens? Remember, there are some. If you want, we can revise this bit. There are some verbs in English which they say that they have two objects, like I give something to you, or I give you something. You see, doesn't matter. I tell you something. When I offer you something, I offered Bob a job, and I offer a job to Bob. There are quite a few verbs which they behave this way. They say that they have two objects because you can move it around. When it comes to the passive, in Italian you would say a Bob è stato offerto un lavoro, a Maria è stato detto di andare, a te è stato dato. In English, of course, you get the object becomes the subject. So let's get my friend Bob was offered a job. Maria was told, and you were given something. Okay, and this is what happened. In Italian, you say to Bob was offered the job, but it's not good in English because in English the object becomes the subject. Okay, if you want, we can revise this as a was, because okay, was. In Italian, because being functions as a noun. L'essere detto, il venir detto, you would say in Italian. And so, because it was the fact of being told, il fatto di essergli riferito. Okay, do you understand it now? Was being il venirgli detto. Okay, this becomes a noun. It's not a verb. Don't interpret it as a verb. Okay, so that was finally caused this fearless action here to wimp out was il venirgli detto la tua missione. I know, Nicoletta, but you don't need to you don't need to use it. But the good thing is that now when you see it, you recognize it and you understand it. Remember, there are things which mother tongue speakers use all the time and they come natural. That they don't think about it, they just use it and it's fine. I don't like being told what to do. Well, what's wrong with that? You can say it now very often. I don't like being told what to do. Why not? If you see, if you see it in this sentence, now you might start thinking, oh, well, I can use it now. Isn't it true, Nicoletta? It's enough sometimes if you change the collocation of a sentence and che mi venga detto, che mi sia. Yeah, there is no difference. Non mi piace che mi si dica cosa fare. Yes, perfectly fantastic. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. You see, I don't like being told what to do. Che mi venga detto. Il venirmi detto is in English if you really want to understand it perfectly, but in Italian, I don't like che mi venga detto is a passive, what to do. Okay, so now you can start using it now. So your mission, should you choose, let's go back.
That what finally caused this fearless action hero to wimp out was being told, your mission, should you choose to accept it.
Very good. Should you choose to accept it?
Should you choose to accept it is to nip down the Brompton Road Waitrose for a pot of hummus.
Yeah. You see, the good thing, you see why I in a way, I prefer this heroes and villains to the news. The language is a lot more complex. The way they speak is more, is nearer to the way people speak normally, which is always what I've been trying to do in my lessons for, well, I lost count of the years now. I always try to speak more or less the way I speak with my friends, at home, with English people instead of students. So students get used to different language, different expressions, different ways of using the language, which is important because, you know, is what you want to learn. Okay, so let's go here. And so, is it true or false that Tom Cruise has an estimated 3.5 million stolen in jewelry and cash from his home in London? It is false. Definitely. The actor relies heavily on a stunt double to perform the most dangerous scenes in his films. Again, is false. Because apparently he does it all by himself. and Tom Cruise is scared of going to the supermarket. No, it's not. It was the guy was being sarcastic. Okay, it's false, because you see, the man is being sarcastic, because who would have thought that the thing which caused our Tom Cruise to become a wimp was being told is go down to the supermarket. It's a bit there's a bit of a sarcasm here. Okay, so I don't think Tom Cruise is scared of going to the supermarket. So why did Tom Cruise reportedly leave his flat? Is it A, B, B? Very good, yes. Public safety issues. Yeah, apparently there was a robbery in an expensive shop near his flat, and armed people broke into the shop, and there was a bit of commotion. Okay. Number 5. The humor in the article comes from the contrast between the actors' ageless appearance and career, handsome looks and timeless charm, fearless image and everyday shopping, wealth and spending habits. Very good. And now some vocabulary. Amid. The meaning: is it surrounded by, is it during, in the middle of, outside and separate, or freestanding? Okay, B, definitely. But also, very good, yes. Also A, both. Okay. Freestanding if you stand alone. Outside and separate, definitely not. Amid is middle, in the middle. Well, now you know to wimp out. Is it make a series of low, feeble sound expressive of fear, pain? Very good. This one is whimper. Okay, which sounds a bit like that, but this is D. What's a cliff? Is it a steep rock face, especially at the edge of the sea? Definitely yes. Dover, the White Cliffs. When if you go by the White Cliffs of Dover, they're famous. What's a stunt? Is it a mistake? Yes, Jurassic Coast. Very good. Oh, it's beautiful. A mistake, a dangerous, impressive action, an unusual piece of action, or yes, stuntman, definitely. So it is B. Okay. This one I would call it special effects or something. And nip down, stop something as soon as it starts, fall down suddenly. Now you will remember. Oops, see. And a little bit of pronunciation for you. So I want to find words with silent B. With silent B means is not there, meaning you ignore it completely. So Everybody say F, and it's correct. Yes, F is a plumber. Who's a plumber? The man who never comes when you need him. L'idraulico, exactly. So let's start with the first one. A, you say climb. So this one is not there, is completely silent. What about this one? B. How do you pronounce this word? You pronounce it tomb, tomb, with a nice long, as in soon. Okay, it's the same sound, soon. Gloom, room, okay, tomb. The B is totally silent. There was a film with Angelina Jolie, Tomb Raider. Do you remember Tomb Raider? A famous film. So, good. So B, it's silent. Okay. What about C? C is crab, is pronounced. Crab, those animals, granchi. Okay. Yeah, you pronounce it, so it stays where it is. What about this word? This word is silent. So is succumb, succumb. Don't pronounce the B. And the same in lamb. Okay, so the only one is crab. Okay, all the others, the B is silent. Very often, remember, when you find M and B, very, very often, the B is silent because, well, imagine you have to say plum. You see, it's very difficult to go b, and so you skip the B and you're all happy. And let's see, which word contains a long oo sound, as in tomb, gloom, and room? The first one, do you get it? Yeah, A. Cruise. Remember, do not pronounce the I. Not cruise. It's wrong. It's cruise. Okay. And so someone said C. Bruise. Okay. And then, well, even my friend suit, because it's long. Even E in shoes. Okay. And what about my little F? Cruise. And can you tell me the difference in pronunciation between this one and this one? What's the difference? No difference. Very good. Cruise and cruise. Tom Cruise was amongst the crews. I don't know. It's the same. Okay. And can you tell me the silent consonant or consonants in this place? So the K, definitely. So I pronounce night, so no GH, nights bridge. Okay, so it's night bridge. Night bridge. So I don't pronounce the K, I pronounce the night's bridge. And bridge, of course, you don't pronounce the D. And yes, you pronounced yes, yeah. Nice bridge. In this word, you heard it before. This word is commonly pronounced with the stress on the first syllable. Hummus. Is it? It's true. And you know why? Because this one is hu, okay, hummus. While this one, there is no stress. The second hu is a schwa. I'll send you the way the IPA, the phonetic, the way you write it in phonetics, and you see that who, it's a nice strong who, short, and this one is a schwa, and so is the ego at the beginning. And grammar, we got 2 minutes to do the grammar, and so the first one, Tom left his apartment because, due to, although, or since. Why did he leave his apartment? Wait. Okay, are you still there? Yeah. So, Tom left his apartment, would you say because, due to, although, or since? Is it me not seeing you? Let me see. No. Okay. What's wrong? I'm not. Okay, I got you now. Yeah. Okay. Definitely could be since. Also because, due to the fact that, so not due, although is wrong, so because or since, they're both correct. And number 2, this is difficult. Something. Tom to sell his flat today. So let's imagine if Tom Cruise wanted to sell his flat today, he blah, 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 blah. Okay. Very good. Someone says B-A. I get all the letters, but not T. Okay, this is a bit of a novelty. Because, you see, I'm using the inversion. What happens? For example, if I have, if Tom, I said wanted, but where to sell his flat today, he would get a lot of money. You could say this, or if Tom were to sell, or wanted to sell, one of the two. What happens if you want in English? You can do the inversion, and what happens? Or if Tom Let's go. Okay, even better. If Tom sold his flat today, okay, he will get a lot of money. This is if he sold his flat today, is a second conditional, correct? Yeah. What I can do in English, I can use the verb to be with the inversion. It's a sort of more kind of formal way to express something, ok? Vendesse mai il suo appartamento oggi. Very good. So in English, what you do, you use the verb to be instead of the main verb. Okay, so here you go. Instead of sold, if Tom sold, you see where Tom, the verb sell becomes an infinitive, to sell his flat today, and then he would make a huge profit. I'll send you the rule. It's very formal. Remember that sometimes in English you do have the inversion, and if you want, we can do. If you remind, I'll remember. Do you want to do the inversion next? Revise the inversion when you do inversions in English. Next time we can do it. Okay, so I remember that. Well, oops, it's late. You can carry on all by yourself. I'll send you everything because you use were for all the persons. When if I were you, I would buy something. Okay, I will tell you. I'm rewriting my email address for the new students, and good night to everybody. Juliana.Dorothy at fastweb.
Ciao. Ciao. Ciao, grazie. Ciao, grazie.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Okay, good night to everybody.
Good night to everybody.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Facciamo